I'm Jeremy. Today is day 171 of reading. Today we're reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Let's get started. We're on page 254 at the bottom. It was better than he'd ever dreamed. The fireball turned with the lightest touch. It seemed to obey his thoughts rather than his grip. It sped across the field at such a speed that the stadium turned into a green and gray blur. Harry turned it so sharply that Alicia Spinnet screamed. Then he went into a perfectly controlled dive, brushing the grassy field with his toes before rising 30, 40, 50 feet into the air again. "Harry, I'm letting the snitch out," Wood called. Harry turned and raced the bludger toward the goalpost. He outstripped it easily, saw the snitch dart out from behind Wood, and within 10 seconds had caught it tightly in his hand. The team cheered madly. Harry let the snitch go again, gave it a minute's head start, then tore after it, weaving in and out of the others. He spotted it lurking near Katie Bell's knee, looped her easily, and caught it again. It was the best practice ever. The team, inspired by the presence of the fireball in their midst, performed their best moves faultlessly, and by the time they hit the ground again, Wood didn't have a single criticism to make, which, as George Weasley pointed out, was a first. "I can't see what's going to stop us tomorrow," said Wood. "Nonetheless, Harry, you've sorted out your Dementor problem, haven't you?" "Yeah," said Harry, thinking of his feeble patroness and wishing it were stronger. "The Dementors won't turn up again, Oliver. Dumbledore'd go ballistic," said Fred confidently. "Well, let's hope not," said Wood. "Anyways, good work, everyone. Let's get back to the tower. Turn in early." "I'm staying out for a bit. Ron wants to go on the fireball," Harry told Wood. And while the rest of the team headed off to the locker rooms, Harry strode over to Ron, who vaulted the barrier to the stands and came to meet him. Madame Hooch had fallen asleep in her seat. "Here you go," said Harry, handing Ron the fireball. Ron, an expression of ecstasy on his face, mounted the broom and zoomed off into the gathering darkness while Harry walked around the edge of the field, watching him. Night had fallen before Madame Hooch awoke with a start, told Harry and Ron off for not waking her, and insisted that they go back to the castle. Harry shouldered the fireball, and he and Ron walked out of the shadowy stadium, discussing the fireball's superbly smooth action, its phenomenal acceleration, and its pinpoint turning. They were halfway toward the castle when Harry, glancing to his left, saw something that made his heart turn over. A pair of eyes, gleaming out of the darkness. Harry stopped dead, his heart banging against his ribs. "What's the matter?" said Ron. Harry pointed. Ron pulled out his wand and muttered, "Lumos." A beam of light fell across the grass, hit the bottom of a tree, and illuminated its branches. There, crouching among the budding leaves, was Crookshanks. "Get out of here!" Ron roared, and he stooped down and seized a stone lying on the grass. But before he could do anything else, Crookshanks had vanished with one swish of his long, ginger tail. "See?" Ron said furiously, chucking the stone down again. "She's still letting him wander about wherever he wants. Probably washing down Scabbers with a couple of birds now." Harry didn't say anything. He took a deep breath as relief seeped through him. He had been sure for a moment that those eyes had belonged to the Grim. They set off for the castle once more, slightly ashamed of his moment of panic. Harry didn't say anything to Ron, nor did he look left or right until they had reached the well-lit entrance hall. Harry went down to breakfast the next morning with the rest of the boys in his dormitory, all whom seemed to think the fireball deserves a sort of guard of honor. As Harry entered the great hall, heads turned in the direction of the fireball, and there was a good deal of excited muttering. Harry saw, then with enormous satisfaction, that the Slytherin team were all looking thunderstruck. "Did you see his face?" said Ron gleefully. Looking back at Malfoy, "He can't believe it. This is brilliant." Wood, too, was basking in the reflected glory of the fireball. "Put it here, Harry," he said, laying the broom in the middle of the table and carefully turning it so that its name faced upward. People from Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff tables were soon coming over to look. Cedric Diggory came over to congratulate Harry on having acquired such a superb replacement for his Nimbus. And Percy's Ravenclaw girlfriend, Penelope Clearwater, asked if she could actually hold the fireball. Now, Penny, no sabotage," said Percy heartily as she examined the fireball closely. "Penelope and I have got a bet on," he told the team. 10 galleons at the elk of the match. Penelope put the fireball down again, thanked Harry, and went back to her table. "Harry, make sure you win," said Percy in an urgent whisper. "I haven't got 10 galleons. "Yes, I'm coming, Penny," and he bustled off to join her in a piece of toast. "Sure you can manage that broom, Potter?" said a cold, drawling voice. Draco Malfoy had arrived for a closer look, Crabbe and Goyle right behind him. "Yeah, reckon so," said Harry casually. "Got plenty of special features, doesn't it?" said Malfoy, eyes glittering maliciously. "Shame it doesn't come with a parachute, in case you get too near a Dementor." Crabbe and Goyle sniggered. "Pity you can't attach an extra arm to yours, Malfoy," said Harry. "Then it could catch the snitch for you." The Gryffindor team laughed loudly. Malfoy's pale eyes narrowed, and he stalked away. They watched him rejoin the rest of the Slytherin team, who put their heads together, no doubt asking Malfoy whether Harry's broom was really a fireball. At the 11:15, the Gryffindor team set off for the locker rooms. The weather couldn't have been more different from their last match against Hufflepuff. It was a clear, cool day with a very light breeze. There would be no visibility problems this time, and Harry, though nervous, was starting to feel the excitement only a Quidditch match could bring. They could hear the rest of the school moving into the stadium beyond. Harry took off his black school robes, removed his wand from his pocket, and stuck it inside the t-shirt he was going to wear under his Quidditch robes. He only hoped he wouldn't need it. He wondered suddenly whether Professor Lupin was in the crowd, watching. "You know what we've got to do," said Wood as they prepared to leave the locker room. "If we lose this match, we're out of the running. Just fly like you did in practice yesterday, and we'll be okay." They walked out onto the field to tumultuous applause. The Ravenclaw team, dressed in blue, were already standing in the middle of the field. Their seeker, Cho Chang, was the only girl on their team. She was shorter than Harry by about a head, and Harry couldn't help noticing, nervous as he was, that she was extremely pretty. She smiled at Harry as the teams faced each other behind their captains, and he felt a slight lurch in the region of his stomach that he didn't think had anything to do with nerves. "Wood, Davies, shake hands." Madame Hooch said briskly, and Wood shook hands with the Ravenclaw captain. "Mount your brooms. On my whistle, 3, 2, 1. Harry kicked off into the air, and the fireball zoomed higher and faster than any other broom. He soared around the stadium and began squinting around for the snitch, listening all the while to the commentary, which was being provided by the Weasley twins' friends, Lee Jordan. "They're off, and the big excitement this match is the fireball that Harry Potter is flying for Gryffindor. According to Witch Broomstick, the fireball's going to be the broom of choice for the national teams at this year's World Championship." "Jordan, would you mind telling us what's going on in the match?" interrupted Professor McGonagall's voice. "Right you are, Professor. Just giving a bit of background information. The fireball, incidentally, has a built-in auto brake and—" "Jordan!" Okay. Gryffindor in possession. Katie Bell of Gryffindor, heading for goal. Harry streaked past Katie in the opposite direction, gazing around for a glint of gold and noticing that Cho Chang was tailing him closely. She was undoubtedly a very good flyer. She kept cutting across from him, forcing him to change direction. "Show her your acceleration, Harry!" Fred yelled as he whooshed past in pursuit of a bludger that was aiming for Alicia.